we need to think a little bit more about the story of the Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve were asked not to eat from a certain tree. It was called the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. What does that mean? Why did God ask them not to eat from that? It was a warning that if they ate from it, they would die. So, what does that mean? Because we know that as the story goes, they ate from the tree, but they did not die. So, what does the death mean? If they did not mean, does that mean that God lied to them? There was also another tree in the garden. It was called the tree of life. And the tree of life was not forbidden. So let's think first about the tree of life. The word life has two different meanings. In Malayalam, we have two different words for life. One is Jivan and the other is Jividam. One is like the energy, the life energy that gives life to all living beings. The other one is like the period of life that a living being lives. Usually, in the Malayalam translations, the tree of life is usually translated as Jiva Vriksham. Usually, the first meaning is taken like the energy, life energy. It can also mean the other one, like Jivita Vriksham. The tree of life probably represents the life, the heavenly life that Adam and Eve lived in the Garden of Eden. The tree of life probably represented the great life that Adam and Eve lived in the Garden of Eden. The life, the best life that human beings can live. A life in friendship with God, a life in friendship with the animals, an excellent, first-rate life that they lived in Garden of Eden. And now, if they need to continue living in the Garden of Eden, or if they need to continue eating from the tree of life, there's only one condition. They should not eat from the other tree, which is the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Does the tree represent knowledge? And if they are not allowed to eat from that tree, does that mean that human beings are not allowed to gain knowledge? That's a very simplistic explanation. Let's try a different kind of interpretation to that story. If Adam and Eve were forbidden from that tree, if Adam and Eve were asked not to eat from that tree, that means that tree belongs to God. Only God had the right, only the owner of the garden had the right to eat from that tree. And Adam and Eve were not supposed to eat from that tree. If they ate, they would die. The owner of the garden is God. So let's understand it in this way. The ultimate knowledge of what is good and what is evil belongs to God. God alone has the ultimate knowledge. God alone has all knowledge, which human beings can never attain. Human beings can never attain the ultimate knowledge. The reason is simple. Every day we gain more and more knowledge. Today I have knowledge. Tomorrow I will gain even more knowledge. Day after tomorrow I will have even more knowledge. So human beings can never attain ultimate knowledge, but God already has ultimate knowledge. So Adam and Eve were not allowed to eat from the tree of knowledge means it does not mean that they are not allowed knowledge. It simply means that they should not claim to have all knowledge. God alone has all knowledge, the ultimate knowledge, and we human beings should not claim to have the ultimate knowledge of good and evil. If we claim to have ultimate knowledge of good and evil, what will happen? If we claim to have ultimate knowledge, our growth stops there. We would not grow any further because we already know. So there is no more, we don't need any more knowledge. So that would be the end of our growth. That's like a death. So death here also means the end of their life in the garden. Usually by the word death we means the end of life. It's like a full stop or a period we put at the end of a sentence. Now, if you eat from the tree of knowledge, you would die. Here means your heavenly life in the Garden of Eden will end. That's what happens in the story. The same day they ate from the tree of knowledge, their life in the Garden of Eden ended and they were out of the garden. They could not continue there. It has, it has important meaning, which means if we claim to have the ultimate knowledge that God alone can have, our, our growth stops there and we die. Now, immediately after that, we see the reflection of we see the result of eating from the tree. When God enters the garden, God asks, "Did you eat from the tree?" Now, Adam sits on the judgment seat and passes a judgment. I am innocent. My wife gave me the fruit and I ate. So she is to blame. So Adam decides what is right and what is wrong. So it's the same as eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.